Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. The minimum fare for jeepneys has gone up to 10 pesos after the LTFRB approved a 1 peso provisional fare hike. Faith Del Mundo with the details.
In a document released by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, Wednesday night, they ruled that starting today, the minimum fare for public utility jeepneys will be at 10 pesos for the first 4 kilometers in NCR, Central Luzon, and Calabarzon. This was after the agency approved a 1 peso provisional fare hike on PUJs. However, the document states that no increase will be implemented on the succeeding kilometers. The LTFRB says that this is in response to the soaring prices of petroleum products. But for jeepney drivers, this minimal increase might still not be enough.
Wala, kulang pa rin yun. Mahal ang diesel. Hindi pa rin kami kumikita ng maganda. Mga kailangan, mga siguro dos. Hindi kasi yun. Mahal ang diesel.
Kulang pa rin yun, ma'am, kasi mataas pa yung diesel eh. Kahit mga 3 man lang ganun. Yung kita namin, napupunta na po sa diesel eh.
The LTFRB admits that there are drivers who chose not to ply roads due to the high price of diesel, like Jomar, who drives a jeep from UP Diliman to Pantranco.
Mahal ang krudo kasi sa krudo lang napupunta ang kinikita eh.
Mang Francisco also chose not to brave the streets. He says that he earns more during the early days of the resumption of transport after the lockdowns.
Nakapag-uwi kami ng mga 7 pa noon eh. Pinakambaba, 600. Ngayon, nag-80. Nakapag-uwi kami ngayon, 300 lang hanggang 400. Mataas na pag 400.
With limited public transport, more and more commuters are forced to chase every passing PUB or endure already crowded public transport just to get their destination. Some of them even grapple in moving vehicles just to get a ride.
Sobrang hassle po kasi talaga ngayon pagka lagi po ito eh. Araw-araw po ito lagi ganun. Madalang na po kasi dumadaan dito Pakubaw. Opo, malate na po. Hanggang call time ko po 6:30.
Mahirap lalo na pag ganitong mga rush hour. Kaso nga lang kasi tapos nagmamadali ka pag ganun. Mahirap siya.
The LTFRB added that a hearing is also scheduled to tackle petitions from various transport groups to raise the minimum fare in jeepneys to around 14 to 15 pesos. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
Incoming Trade Secretary Fred Pascual wants to scout for more trading partners in order to address the ongoing supply issues with some basic goods. Shaila Francisco with the rest of that report.
As the war in Ukraine drags on, its effect is felt more and more in economies around the world, including the Philippines, from soaring prices of oil to lack in supply of some goods. To plug the gap when it comes to the supply of some items, incoming Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascual says it's high time to look for more trading partners.
We need to scan the market, and see whether there are friendly nations that we can approach, or even nations we have not dealt with before, but have the supply. We need to be resilient ourselves by being resourceful.
But it's not just consumers who are hurting with high prices of commodities. Manufacturers are also now asking for price hikes. Pascual says such requests will be evaluated. He is also open to reviewing whether to include more products under the suggested retail price lists. For now, he advises both consumers and manufacturers to look for substitutes to expensive inputs and products.
And let the market competition take care of issues like what you're saying. Do we need to include the small retailers, sari-sari stores? Maybe we don't need to, as long as there are alternatives to consumers to buy products from outlets that are observing the suggested retail prices.
With the economy taking a double beating, first from the pandemic and now the war in Ukraine, Pascual says it's high time to focus on one of the economy's bloodlife, the medium, small, and micro enterprises. This includes providing working capital, tapping the SB Corporation for financing, and the use of technology.
Expand their market by integrating them into the e-commerce platforms, either existing or platforms that we will develop specifically for the small enterprises.
He also wants to help boost employment, first by strengthening the BPO sector through further training with state institutions, as well as modernizing manufacturing and agriculture to further attract a younger workforce. Shaila Francisco, We Are One News.
Meanwhile, incoming Agrarian Reform Chief Conrado Estrella III says bringing down rice prices to 20 pesos a kilo will be hard to achieve. Estrella explained that high costs of fuel products and fertilizers continue to push up rice prices. He also clarified that reducing rice prices to 20 pesos per kilo is just an aspiration of President-elect Bongbong Marcos. Still, Estrella says they will study how they can make this target possible.
Yung 20, mukhang sa ngayon, medyo mahirapan pa tayo considering alam mo naman yung presyo ng langis ngayon. Pagkatapos yung presyo pa ng abono. Ako, siguro 27, 28, pwede na yan.
One News Now will be back with more stories after this short break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Boston Celtics retake the series lead after downing the Golden State Warriors in Game 3, 116-100. Boston weathered another strong third quarter by the Warriors and outscored them in the fourth, 23-11. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart combined for 77 points to lead the way for the Celtics. They are also the first trio to have at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in the finals since 1984. Ateneo standout SJ Belangel is set to be the first Pinoy import to play in the Korean Basketball League. Gretchen Ho with the details.
They get it inbound. Belangel pump fakes, puts it up. Oh baby! Oh baby! We're going to FIBA Asia Cup!
A shot that will be remembered in Gila's history has also become the path for even greater success for SJ Belangel. His dagger 3 in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers gave the Philippines its first win against the Koreans since 2013. And that moment also made a mark in the minds of our arch rivals. SJ is set to become the first ever Pinoy import to play in the Korean Basketball League.
When you talk about Korea, unselfish basketball agad yan, tapos the way they shoot. So for me, it's a tough league, but sabi ko nga, it's when the going goes tough, dun talaga makikita kapag kung saan yung caliber ng isang basketball player.
Belangel for 3. Yes, sir!
Belangel helped lead Ateneo to 2 championships. And despite having 2 playing years left, the graduating AB Interdisciplinary Studies major has decided to move on to the next chapter. He inked a 2-year contract with KBL's 5th-ranking team, Daegu Kogas Pegasus, which finished the 2021-2022 season with a 27-27 record.
Actually, madami ding offer sa akin like Japan, Taiwan, other Korean teams.
Bakit ito yung team na napili mo?
The way I play, it's similar daw sa coaches namin tapos sa kanya. So, I'm gonna be the right fit daw para sa team nila.
In a twist of fate, SJ will also be playing alongside South Korea's starting guard Kim Nak-hyun, who also played in the 2021 FIBA Asia qualifiers. But it's going to be a long wait as Kim is still in mandatory military service until November 2023. But the question is playing in the PBA already out of the picture?
Sabi ko na someday, makakalaro din ako dito sa PBA. So, one thing's for sure, in the future, malalaro ako sa PBA.
But even as he plays abroad, SJ still will not let go of his national team duties. SJ is set to play in the FIBA Asia window this coming June 30 and July 3 and will be flying to Korea with his family after graduation and August. Gretchen Ho, We Are One News.
And here's a quick look at today's other top stories. The World Health Organization warns that monkeypox can still spread in non-endemic countries. Over 1,000 cases of the rare viral disease have been recorded across different countries, apart from the 9 African nations where it is considered endemic. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara and his team met with incoming Secretary Boying Remulla today. Guevara says they discussed the different operations and programs under the DOJ as part of the transition process. And the camp of comedian Ai de las Alas has condemned the Quezon City Council's move to declare her as persona non grata. Ai's camp insisted that the video she starred in is clearly satire and should not be taken literally and personally. They added that the council is restricting freedom of expression by enacting such a declaration. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.